Today we're going to be talking about how to get a perfect score on any Regents exam. Now, the advice I want to be giving you today has helped me as well. In fact, all of the particular exams I want to be referring to today, I've gotten 100% on. Uh, I've gotten 100% on over half of my Regents exams, so hopefully these tips do help you out too. And let's get started. So, number one, look for patterns in tests. What this basically means is that before you take your Regents exam, you should take practice exams. That's a given. You need to take practice exams. But when you take these exams, I want you to think, what's similar about each exam? Like, what do exams have in common? Let's put it that way. What do exams have in common? Because you're going to notice that when the Regents exams are administered, they have a lot of similarities. And remember, Regents exams are administered 3 times a year, in June, August, and in January. So you have plenty of practice tests to work with. And when you take those tests, I want you to look for certain things that appear more than once. Alright, today we're going to be talking about how to get a perfect score on any Regents exam. That means 100% on literally any of them. And I promise you, it's a lot easier than you think. That comes from someone who's gotten 100 on over half of my Regents exams that I've taken. So let's get started. Number one, what I want you to do is look for patterns in tests. Now, what do I mean by that? So hopefully, you've taken multiple practice tests before you take your actual Regents exam. And when you take these practice tests, I'm wanting to look for what's similar among those tests. So we know that the Regents is administered. The Regents is administered 3 times a year. It's in January, June, and August. So that means you have plenty of practice tests to work with since they do release each one after a certain amount of time. And when you take these exams, I want you to look for what's common, what appears to be asked a lot in these tests. And those skills I really want you to focus on when it comes to preparing for this exam. Let's take a look. So this is from Algebra 1. These are both screenshots from different Algebra 1 practice exams that have been administered at one point or another. So for August 2023, we see that one question is asking, what is the product of 2x plus 7 and x minus 3? So we're being asked to find the product of two expressions. Cool. Number 9, the question right after it, is asking, what is the degree of the polynomial 2x plus x to the third plus 5x squared? Now, this question is asking to find the degree, so that's pretty important to know, right? Well, let's look in January 2024. We are being asked to find the degree of a different polynomial, and we're being asked to find the product of two expressions, just like August 2023. It's quite a coincidence that they're right after each other, but that doesn't have to be true. However, notice they're asking you this multiple times. If they're asking about finding the product of two expressions in August and in January, hey, I think in June there's a good chance they're going to ask that again. And same thing with finding the degree of a polynomial. That's why it's so important to know what they're asking for and look for what appears the most on these exams. Next, familiarize yourself with reference tables. So a lot of the tests, especially the math and the science exams, rely on reference tables so much. And you need to make sure that you know where everything is prior to taking that exam. So let's take a look. This is a screenshot from the chemistry Regents, and this question asks, based on table N, which particle is emitted by the radioactive decay of francium-220? Cool. So notice that here we are being directly asked to look at table N. They're literally telling you to look at table N. And table N is right here. And all I need to do to answer this question is literally just look for francium-220. Shouldn't be too hard to figure out that it looks like something like this on the table right here. Francium-220 is right there, and all I need to know is that this particle here means alpha, and I already have my answer. This question does not take that much chemistry to know. This just relies on your ability to use reference tables. And so please make sure you know what each reference table is used for and when to apply it. If there's a table lying in your packet that you have no idea what it does, please make sure you know what it does, because they might ask you and you might not know how to use it. And last but not least, what we're going to talk about is Know what test graders are looking for. And I generally mean know what they're looking for. And the best way to really do this is by looking at answer keys that they publish online. Because those when your grader is checking through these exams, they're going to look for one thing and one thing only. And if you have that one thing, you get full credit. They don't care about what else you write as long as you're right. So let's take a look. So here we have a screenshot from the Global History Regents exam. And here they asked a few things. They asked to identify stuff and they asked to explain stuff whenever they have you answer those CRQs. And notice that they tell you what identify means and they tell you what explain means. So whenever you see these words in a question, all they're asking you to do is do this. So when it says identify, put a name to something or name something. And explain just means to make plain or understandable, to give reasons for or causes of, and just show logical development or relationship of something. They tell you straightforward, this is what they're looking for, just tell me what it is. You don't need to add any more than that, just answer the question. And here is the prompt, or not the prompt, the instructions for the essay you have to write for the Global History Regents exam. And that is the Enduring Issues essay. And no matter what essay prompt you get, you will get the same exact directions every single test. So, know what they're looking for, literally. They tell you what they're looking for. They're looking for interpretation of at least 3 documents. They're looking for your explanation of issues of relevant evidence. And they're looking for you to answer these prompts right here. How the issue has affected people or has been affecting people, and how the issue has continued or changed over time. I mean, that's why it's called the Enduring Issues essay. So when you write your essay, make sure you hit these targets so that your grader knows that, hey, I can give this person full credit because they addressed the prompts. They addressed the instructions they were given. All right, last but not least, we have another question from the Chemistry Regents, this time from June 2024. And here we're being asked to find the noble gas that has atoms in the ground state with the same electron configuration as this element over here in the ground state. So they're asking for the noble gas. Cool. And also here in question 60, they're asking, state in terms of electrons why the ionic radius of a group 17 element is larger than the atomic radius for the same elements. So they're asking, it seems like, for an explanation here and asking for you to identify something over here. So identify and explain. Cool. And let's look at what the answer key wants for these 2 questions. So here, notice, all they're looking for question 59 is Kr or krypton to identify that element, or that noble gas rather. That's all they're looking for. They do not need a whole sentence for this question. You do not need to write the noble gas that has atoms in. No, you don't need to write any of that. Just write krypton. This is extremely helpful if you're someone who runs out of time a lot. I mean, time shouldn't really be a big concern because you do get around 3 hours to take the exam. But even if time is an issue, hey, remember, you don't need to write full sentences for this question. Just get to the point. Write what they're looking for. You can write 2 letters, and bam, you got the point. And look here. So for question 60, the more explanation targeted question, they have a very short explanation here. The valence electron, by the way, these are all 3 different things you can write. The valence electron shell of a group 17 atom gains an electron when it becomes an ion. A group 17 ion has 1 more electron than the atom from which it is formed, and the ion has more electrons. Quite literally, if you write anything among these 3 ideas, you will get the points, including if you literally write the ion has more electrons. That's 5 words, and you get the point. So remember, they're really testing you on your ability to just understand and interpret data when it comes to these tests. And they're not too focused on seeing if you can write, sentence starters, if you can write full sentences. They just want you to get to the point. Just get to the point. So yeah, if you have any other questions, please let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.